called Life-Saving Less Than 1 Minute. He kissed me. He took me in his arms, showed me his heart, led me gently away from the disaster, allowed me my grief while making me see I did not have to live there forever. So after patiently listening to my doubts, quietly observing my flailing against the inevitable, he kissed me. Precious mouth to mouth, resuscitation. Happily this patient. He just lived because he kissed me.
Lovely. This is called The Flask by Charles Baudelaire. All right, don't murder me because I butchered the French pronunciation of that, but here it is, The Flask by Baudelaire. There are some strong perfumes that cannot be contained, which seep through any glass or bottle or a vial. For instance, taking up an oriental chest whose stubborn lock will creak and groan in opening, or poking through a house in closets shut for years, full of the smell of time, acrid, musty, dank. One comes, perhaps, upon a flask of memories in whose escaping scent a soul returns to life. 1,000 thoughts have slept cocooned within this flask, but sweetly trembling there, packed closely in the dark. Now they release their wings and take their gaudy flight, tinged with an azure blue, rose-glazed, spangled in gold. Fluttering to the brain through the unsettled air, rapturous memory pervades the atmosphere. The eyes are forced to close. Vertigo grasps the soul and thrusts her with his hands into the mists of time. He forces her to lie next to an ancient tomb, from which, with cloying scent, Lazarus, splitting his shroud, a gaunt cadaver, moves to its awakening, ghost of a spoiled love, and chanting, though impure. So when I am entombed to mortal memory, when I am closeted in some deserted house, when I've been thrown away on an old forgotten flask, decrepit, dusty, cracked, rejected, filthy, rank, I will be tomb for you, beloved pestilence, the witness of your force and of its virulence. Dear poison made by angels, drink that eats my soul, oh, you who are the life and ruin of my heart. That was The Flask by Charles Baudelaire. Oh, my.
Oh, dear pirate, please don't steal my heart. You already took my breath away. Isn't that an amazing start? Oh, dear pirate, should I tell you my secret? I came to the Caribbean especially for you. Isn't that wicked? Hush, my pirate. Don't you know how to stay quiet? They will hang you at the end of the rope, you see. Do you really want to try it? Hush, my pirate. Didn't you hear the story? Yes, the one of your fellow Edward Lowe. Will you now please take it slow? You know, my pirate, how long it took me to find you? I lost the count of the days, weeks, months, years, but now I can finally wipe away my lonely tears. You know, my pirate, how hard it was for me to come here. The boat going up and going down and coming up, I almost threw up. So please, my dear pirate, listen to me when I say, don't steal my heart, or how will I love you today? And it's so lovely, Rosemary. I like it. Huckleberry Hax. And it's called Old Friend, Learn to Look Behind You in the Coffee Queue by Huckleberry Hax. My radar picks him off at 12 feet time. Time enough to fake procrastination at the cake stand. Yeah, like I'd really contemplate a lemon drizzle with the sort of coffee I buy. But it gives me the time I need to think about whether I want to abort or not. The street does try to suck me back, but this is coffee. And furthermore, it's time we had this moment. Of course, I pretty much know exactly how it's going to play. You don't walk side by side with someone for nearly 30 years of life and not learn how to see the way the ball will probably roll. As attentive as ever, he lets me come right up next to him. And when the pretense can be stretched no longer, I look. I smile. I see the panic in his eyes. We say polite hellos, and then polite goodbyes. Yeah, it's so. Oh, and there is an introduction to it. This is a poem by me, Sambones. I wrote about my ancestors in a fitting tribute to my grandfather. Thank you for this opportunity. Oh, Sambones, I'm glad to read this one. Oh, Father, why are you so sad on this bright Easter morn, when Irishmen are proud and glad of the land where they were born? Oh, Son, I see in memory's view a far-off distant day, when being just a lad like you, I joined the IRA. Where are the lads that stood with me when history was made? Aigre-mo-croix, I long to see the boys of the old brigade. From hills and farms a call to arms was heard by one and all, and from the glen came brave young men to answer Ireland's call. 'Twas long ago we faced the foe, the old brigade and me, and by my side they fought and died that Ireland might be free. Where are the lads that stood with me when history was made? Aigre-mo-croix, I long to see the boys of the old brigade. And now, my boy, I've told you why. On Easter morn I sigh, for I recall my comrades all, and dark old days gone by. I think of men who fought in Glen, with rifle and grenade. May heaven keep the men who sleep from the ranks of the old brigade. That stood with me when history was made. Aigre-mo-croix, I long to see the boys of the old brigade. Oh, well. That's a wonderful poem by Sambones. And I have one by Millbag that's called The Pastibab of Desire by Millbag Coleslaw. I wandered these eternal streets, the God-forsaken gym, the skin, the swans, the water works. I crawl along the ground, my pastibab scattered. Where? My pastibab, not a bug inside, and my pastibab scattered on the floor like a food